Hi everyone and welcome back to In Trouble with True Crime Sisters. This is the second episode of our new long episode, Killing for Money. We'll split the episodes to short episodes in case you don't have time to listen to the longer episode. You're missing some small parts, some facts in these short episodes, but the content about the killers are the same. So we hope you enjoy the short episodes and have time to listen to our long episode as well. Let's jump in, but please be aware this is based on a true events. And this episode contains murder by a firearm. So if this is not for you, please listen to another episode. This episode is about Rebecca Sacedo and how she killed her husband for money when she realized that she would not get anything from a divorce. Rebecca has a few different jobs. But the day she met Bruce Cleedon, she was selling spices at a market. He came over and had a look at the spices as he loved spicy food. They both struck up a conversation as they started talking about their careers, and Bruce gave her his details so he could help her find a new job. The next day she logged into her work computer and checked them out online. She turned to her colleague and said to her colleagues that this is the man she was going to marry. He had a good job and a good income. What more could a girl ask for? She then reached out and they quickly started dating. He was kind and nice, but said to be a little shy. And when she brought him home to her place, she was so embarrassed by her small apartment and the fact that she had no furniture, he offered to buy her some. So he did. He bought her all new furniture for her apartment slowly filled up. Then when they were all out and about, she would point to jewelry and start talking like a lot of girls do. Bam, she suddenly had a new expensive jewelry. You can see where this is going, right? She saw some nice clothes. Bruce would buy it for her. She even borrowed his credit card while he was away and got a breast implant with his money. But then she also needed a new car. Like magic, Bruce bought her one. Then she wanted a boat and a trailer. What happened? Yes, Bruce bought her one. After a little while, they started talking about the future. But she needed a big house with a lot of space and somewhere to entertain guests. They found a house and bought it. But Rebecca was saving herself for marriage and could not live with a man before marriage. Can you imagine? While I've been talking, you probably thought this sounds like a typical sugar daddy situation. But no, he got nothing from their relationship. He was just so in love, he would do everything he could to keep her happy. So after he bought the house and all the furniture and her new car, because of course she needed a new car and a bigger one, she moved in while he was still living with his parents. He had to call her in advance if he wanted to come over and visit. It was in January 1997 that they got married in a small civil ceremony. But she had gotten married in the eyes of God, and they needed to have another wedding, a church wedding. And now that they were married, she thought she would get 50% of everything if they got a divorce. But no, since they only lived together for 2 months after they got married, she would not get half. But no, since they only lived together for 2 months after they got married, she would not get half. She would be entitled to 50% of what he earned while living together. Not the house, not the car, but half of 2 months' worth of his salary. And now that would not work. After she had kicked him out, she invited him for dinner at their favorite Mexican restaurant, and then after they would go and visit her uncle. Around 1 a.m. at night, a taxi was driving down a small street where he saw a woman laying on the street and there was a man laying dead in a driveway. The police came and found out the woman was alive but claimed that she had been hit in the head. The man had been shot in the face while in a car. He had then managed to get out of the car and was shot again while trying to run away. When he had fallen down after a second shot, he was shot again in the head. The woman claimed that nothing was missing from the car except her wedding ring. So they would rule out robbery The woman said that she had been driving and a light turned on the dashboard. She had gotten outside to check what it was. She was hit on the head and she passed out. During the investigation, the police found it suspicious that nothing was missing from the car. It looked like Rebecca had taken a weird route home. She had taken a weird route that took a lot longer than normal routes, and they had ended up in a small road where Bruce was murdered. They also thought it was weird how calm and uninterested she seemed when they spoke to her. They decided to look deeper into their lives, and they noticed that all the expensive gifts, the car, the boat, and the fact that he paid for the house and all the furniture, but he was not allowed to live there. She then also drafted out separation papers, and this seemed to be the reason why she invited him out for dinner. She would have found out that she was not entitled to anything if they got a divorce, and Bruce really wanted the marriage to work. So she invited him to dinner, and he said yes. When the police had come back to talk to her about everything they uncovered, they noticed she was wearing her wedding ring. Where did that come from? And that was the only thing that was missing from the attack. They then noticed to check her phone records, and they found out that several times during her dinner with Bruce, she called her cousin, Alvaro. They had also gone back to the restaurant and spoke to the staff. They also mentioned that she had gotten up several times during the meal to call someone. They then checked the cell phone tower and saw that Alvaro was close to the restaurant and then later close to the scene of the crime. Then they looked into Alvaro and noticed that even after Bruce died, he moved in with Rebecca and they even shared a bed. Let's not start discussing how gross it is. They're cousins. That means they're family. After the discovery, which I'm sure was shocking to the police, they found out that there is another cousin who had addictions to drugs. And they suspect the three of them planned to kill Bruce for the life insurance. Rebecca had taken out life insurance for almost $1 million. In June 2000, Rebecca, Alvaro, and Jose was convicted of the first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. They were sentenced to life in prison without a possibility of parole, but it does not stop there. In 2003, Rebecca and Jose's conviction was overturned, but then again, 3 years later in 2006, she was found guilty on the same charges. She was 37 years old at the time. From the information above, what I found out, it seems she was only interested in Bruce Cleland for his money and nothing else. When she found out divorcing him would not make her rich, she decided killing him was the only way she would make money. Rebecca was a horrible, greedy woman who met and married a man just so she could gain from it. Thank you for listening and hope you enjoyed. Come back for our next episode and leave a comment with your thoughts.